Well, Leaf fans, back for another episode. It's the morning after. It's another sad exit from the playoffs. I don't know what else you can really say about this era of this team. I'm not here to bash any player, coach, the fans. Everyone has their own reason for being upset. You can be mad at Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Willie Nylander, JT, Craig Berube, whoever you want. The fact is, it's just unfortunate that this version of the team can't get it done. I just throw some caution into the wind for some of the fans who are really out there blaming Austin Matthews, blaming Mitch Marner. Maybe in years past I'd agree to some extent. I thought this playoffs, both of them looked different. Yeah, sure, at times they were locked up and didn't produce or didn't look like themselves. But, when you look back at this series, what did Sasha Barkov, Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, even Sam Bennett do in terms of scoring or really impacting the series? Now, obviously, Sam Bennett had his moment. His contribution to this series was that shot to Stolarz' head in the first game where he knocked off his mask, and that seemed to actually set off Stolarz' issues. This series simply was lost by the third and fourth lines. And you can't even really blame the third line. I thought Max Domi had a really good series. He had his moments too. But if you want to blame guys, boo guys on the Leafs, and I understand why you would, you have to look at guys like Bobby McMann, Pontus Holmberg, Scott Laughton. What did they do? When you look at Florida, the Leafs lost this series because Brad Marchand, Lindell, Listerainen, Gadovich, or I think that's his name. I mean, these guys scored at big times when the momentum was swinging, when they scored at times that just deflated the Leafs, and the Leafs simply just didn't get the same from their third and fourth lines at all. If you want to look somewhere to start pointing the blame, at least for this season, I would point there. They just simply didn't get any production at all. They didn't get any big moments. Laughton had his chances. Lorentz had his chances yesterday, although Lorentz did a lot this playoffs. If you look at Mitch and Austin, what they did throughout the playoffs, yeah, they kind of had a quiet series, but they basically won Game 6. Mitch won Game 2. They showed up. Now, when it comes to the defense, I thought Riley and McCabe were both horrible, in my opinion. If there's one guy, unfortunately, that I'd be ready to move off of before anyone, it's Morgan Riley. That's just my opinion. Now, I know Mitch Marner's going to take some time. If you really want to change this team up, if Mitch does leave, first of all, I wouldn't sign Mitch Marner to a deal that's too far off the current number that he's been playing on. I don't even know if I'd offer him a raise, to be honest. You're just, you're going to get 100 points out of Mitch Marner. But I do think he did change up his game in the playoffs. And I just think against a team like Florida that knows, they played the line matchups really well, and they knew where they could take the Leafs. And you look at Brad Marchand and him teaming up with Florida, their game plan, they knew exactly what they needed to do, and that's why you see Florida right now. You see them all complimenting the Leafs, and people are like, oh, they're just gassing the Leafs, and they're saying the right things. Those guys are pros. Yeah, there's a time for it, but I don't know. It was genuine to me. But anyways, if you want to bring back JT, fine. But it has to be on a severe discount, and you move him to the third line. You have to switch up those third and fourth lines immediately so that they become scoring options in the playoffs. You can't have guys like Holmberg, McMahon, and Scott Laughton, and Calle Yarncroke, another one, just not producing at all when you have Florida, who's showing you the blueprint of how to win in the playoffs. Those big games that they won, Game 5 and Game 7, who was it? It was those guys. It was those guys that blew out the Leafs. It wasn't Reinhardt and Barkov and Kachuk. Kachuk didn't do anything all series but talk. So, Leaf fans, get it together, put things in perspective. I'm not saying Mitch Marner has to come back to this team. I wouldn't be surprised either way, but if he doesn't, then you got to spend that money wisely and get guys who can score on the third and fourth lines because, with the rise of Matthew Nyes, and he's obviously a 30 goal scorer, he's young. More than likely, you're going to have Easton Cowan up next year. I would hope that he gets a chance. I'm not saying Mitch Marner's expendable, but the money can be spent on two third line guys or a fourth line guy that you can depend on to score 10, 15 goals. That comes up big at moments that can kill penalties. You just have to do it. I mean, there's no other way around it. You look at a team like Dallas just a couple of years ago, Sagan and Duchesne were their guys. Now they're both playing third and fourth line. So I think that's where management should concentrate. Brendan Shanahan, different story for me. I look at team presidents and the culture and the direction and how much Cy Ujiri gets vilified in the city. Like, what about Brendan Shanahan? What's he done in 9 years? The Raptors have won more series in one season when they won the championship than the Leafs have in this version of the Leafs under him. Right? So, I don't know. Does a change need to be made there? Maybe Keith Pelly makes a change. Who knows? But if they don't sign Mitch to a relatively team-friendly deal, I would totally understand if he leaves. I mean, this guy's gone through everything in Toronto, his hometown. He's going to get pushed out by a media and fan base that just is going to pour all the gas on him. He's going to take it. And maybe some of the criticism is warranted. I can understand. But again, in this series, he had his moments, like I said, Game 2 and Game 6. Against a team like Florida, that's all you can ask for. And you look at Florida again, their top guys didn't have huge games. They didn't fully win a game by themselves. So keep things in perspective. It really sucks. I'm not gonna, throw the cliche out there next year. And it is what it is, man. It's another, season where we thought maybe it would be different. And everyone's gonna say the same thing right now. Oh, I'm just done with the Leafs. And you saw the reaction of some fans throwing their jerseys on the ice, and I don't agree with that at all. You can be mad at your team. You can be super angry. I'm super angry with the Leafs right now. Someone made a comment on my YouTube video saying, oh, you're only complaining about 9 years. I've been going through this for 20. Well, no, this is just this era of the team. I was around in 93 when Wayne Gretzky high-stick Doug Gilmour. Even before that, I've been a fan of the Leafs for 42 years, so believe me, I've seen it all. I guess we'll just have to wait again for another season and see what happens. Leaf fans, keep things in perspective when you think about how they really went out, how Florida played them all series, how they relied on their secondary scoring and scoring from the defense. After Game 2, you didn't really see. They totally locked that down from even the defense. They knew the defense was adding that secondary scoring for the Leafs. They shut that down too. They had that game plan, and that's really where they won this series. It's not because of Mitch and Austin. Everyone wants to put the blame on them, which, that's your opinion. I understand, I get it. But it wasn't all on them this time. Leaf fans, we'll see you next season. We'll see what, this offseason is going to be obviously pretty interesting to see how the roster is reshaped. I thought Brad Treliving did a really good job this season. They were that close of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals at least. So we'll see how things go in the offseason. So have a good one. Thanks again for watching. Continue to watch. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube, Instagram Reels. And I'll catch you on the next one. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. And keep everything respectable. Peace and love, y'all.